ourselves prepared, get ourselves keen for all of that. And look, yeah, attack for Skyfire should provide Viking Army at least a some form of suppose advantage, or rather chances to get themselves on board for the points. But apart from that, really, Skyfire is still looking pretty dominant in their performances, even with the single loss in their in their pack. Really shouldn't be really too much of an issue for now, though. The ban phase looking like we might be seeing something across the lines of maybe a Thatcher, maybe we shall see a Maverick or a Hibana, and well, there we go. Nothing to really get too excited about. Thatcher to be gone. We shall be possibly seeing a maybe Hibana, maybe a Maverick, seeing as both those operators can be quite powerful on the side of Clubhouse as the attackers. And look, yeah, for now it is actually, funnily enough, neither of those operators are going to be banned out. It is going to be a Jackal, seeing as Skyfire do not want to be tracked in any shape or form. They don't want to give away the easy info gathering to their opposition. So with that said, the Spaniard will be out of the equation. The mirror is also going to be gone, seeing as seeing as the other Spaniard is already pretty much out of the equation. But yeah, look, both of them gone. Won't be providing a whole lot of info gathering at all for either of the sides. And the last one is going to be a Melusi ban, which is relatively a decent idea, seeing as she does provide quite a fair bit of now knowledge, even with the quote-unquote nerf for her. Her Wobwobs still deal quite a great deal amount of, they dish out a great deal amount of information. And oh wow, okay, right, we're going into very deep ends of the dad jokes here, it seems. But look, yeah, I definitely would have to say, in personal opinion, Melusi actually feels a whole lot more stronger now after the slight balancing and changes. So that said, we shall not be seeing her in this matchup. Round 1 is going to be taking us to CCTV and Cash, with Gone Walkabouts actually switching over from a Bandit to a Kaid to allow a little bit more flexibility on the plays, on the positioning of the utility. On the rest of the team, we do see the introduction of like the Jaeger, the Mute, the Smoke, and the Valkyrie, so plentiful info gathering game is going to be here, still present for Viking Army, and as well as that, plentiful info denial. On the side of SKF, we do have a Nomad, a Sledge, a Maverick, Hibana, and a Zofia. All of these operators have been quite frequently picked, and look, Skyfire definitely seem to have nailed pretty much their pace for quite a fair bit already, seeing a few drones being set up and ready to roll. Let's get ourselves into the action phase of round number 1. Straight off, sending us from the east side of the spawn, we are going to be seeing a very kind of up front and up close and personal kind of push here. L is trying to get herself maybe a few openings, but funnily enough, the Mute Jammer only jams the 2 of those X-Gyros. So this should be still a very easy breach and a nice clean sightline onto the rafters. Going to Walkabouts is not even going to bother to try to assist with any peeks on people. On the side of people, this is actually a very clean breach. Nobody's even bothering to really try to even deny the breach, and not even the C4s are coming around. Instead, well, it is going to be just a gas grenade to get things underway, and we won't be seeing anything too spicy just yet. Ellie trying to, or rather L, trying to just find an angle really, but apart from that, really just gonna open up, the peek hole just to make sure that the take of the rafters is gonna be much easier. If we're going to Walkabouts, this is gonna be a bit of a rougher situation, seeing as she is sitting with a single only Jaeger device, and right now a single swing and a few flash grenades will pretty much dispose of that, and that's looking like that might be the case sometime very soon. Already spotting the position. The frag grenades are starting to fly in, full send. Serenity already goes in for the peak and gets the dub, but funnily enough, actually, Widwan manages to slip through and able to score a frag onto Serenity, just like that, very easily disposing of her. Another swing to come around. Pinging comes around from the drones, and right now needs to bail out as quickly as possible, which she will be able to do quite confidently as well. So, now with the trades fully done and dusted, the control of the rafters now fully reclaimed yet again for the attack, we are going to be seeing a very nice, very kind of paced down push almost by Skyfire, now that they lost their one of the main aggressors in form of Serenity. And really at the moment it's looking a little bit curious, to say the very least. M is waiting for a run out. Peepo just decides to swing in and get the frag. Cat's getting absolutely bulldozed by M, and all of a sudden, after all of that absolute flurry of kills, Widwan and M are the only two last ones remaining. Peepo to try to get the plan going. Chloe lands a nice doink onto Widwan, and it's all down to the sub for Viking Army. That is M from RDC. We're trying to go in for a bit of a swing, but right now Ellie is just already ready, keen, and blasting things off. Round one to go into the hands of Skyfire after a little bit of a fumble around, but regardless of that, still a nice clean dub for themselves here. Round two is panning out to take us possibly to maybe a church or maybe even gym. We shall see if that is going to be a repeat instead. No, yeah, it is. There we go. CCTV. Oh, pardon me, rather, it is going to be a gym bedroom to be changed quickly around after maybe a little bit of a debate. Looking at the lineup so far, as standard as it gets, the only kind of difference that we are seeing is the Kite instead of Bandit, but it makes for a much cleaner setup. Yes, Peepo, thank you. Holy smokes, Peepo is a certified meal that I would consume on the daily at this point.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Regardless of that, the introduction of Castle to this lineup pretty much calls it and pretty much showcases that, yes, this is going to be the gym setup here, because really, when you think about it, Castle for CCTV doesn't particularly work too well. Castle for, well, church doesn't really introduce a whole much unless you are planning to do something like a SSG-styled roam, but even that has been relatively infrequently seen in Women's League. So for that, well, Castle should allow quite a few nice sightline blockages, which should drain quite a fair bit of utility, quite a fair bit of shots, and we shall be getting things underway. Action phase is going to be starting things off once again. This very similar spawn for Skyfire on the southeast side of the map. Peepo is going to be pretty much straight away beelining to that jacuzzi wall to get things opened up, and I believe actually, yes, the Kite charge has been, pretty sure it has been hidden out in the bathroom stall. So Peepo's position actually going to be here all Gucci. Shouldn't really be having any kind of issue. She's been pretty clinical with that blowtorch, and the only thing that is going to be remaining after that is just to make sure that the Zephyr impacts are going to be coming through. Now, meanwhile, off screen, Widwan did manage to tag things up. Some more damage being dished out through those positions, but right now, Peepo, oddly enough, oh, hello. That's a peak and a half. Gone trying to get a few pot shots, but couldn't really connect anything tangible really there. But it does put us at a bit of a question of, well, do they need to continuously keep an eye out on that spot, on the dirt tunnel, because it can be quite an issue. We do unfortunately have a bit of a drone, well, bug, but that's all good. Corvise already trades out Cats after Chloe does manage to find a shot onto M. Once again, the control and any kind of contention for the construction side, cash or CCTV as a matter of fact, has been completely forfeited. So we are going to be seeing our full-on send through by Skyfire onto the, well, bathroom straight away. Serenity is already full on saying it. The rotation is going to come around and, well, claiming already the first frag. Going to go for a swing into Logistics office. Now does acknowledge that maybe some presence on the main stairs, but will be able to shoo away. I believe that was going walkabouts. Triceratops going to try to go in for a swing with the MP5K, but already instantly gets spotted out. Weird One still holding the angle onto the red stairs, and the plant is going to go down without any congestion whatsoever. Serenity does realize that there's still going to be a flank around on the main stairs, does shut this down. Gone walkabouts, gone. Triceratops gone. It's all down to Weird One, and not much can be done here. Minimal amount of HP, not a whole lot of positioning, and Serenity is just flat out hunting for those frags to be able to make this round number 2 Skyfires yet again. Well, round number 3 is upon us. We are going to be coming around to Church and Arsenal Room defense now by VA after realizing that, well, unfortunately, top floor is not particularly working out. Church and Arsenal Rooms should provide plentiful amount of sightlines, plentiful amount of safe ground to really play around, and with a lineup like this, it's bound to be able to bring plenty amount of denial of a whole lot of utility, plus the information, as well as that with Weird One switching over to Pulse from Jaeger. Well, a little bit more kind of scarce utility on denying any kind of projectiles, but at the very least, you do get essentially 2 players that can live track their opponents remotely. So M on the Valkyrie and the Weird One on Pulse. So should be an interesting setup to say at the very least. Plenty opportunities for the vertical C4s. As a matter of fact, with both Triceratops, M, and Weird One, sorry, not both, all 3 players having the C4s, this is bound to be quite an explosive round to say at the very least. But now though, funnily enough, no changes whatsoever on the side of Team Skyfire. It definitely looks like they are quite happy with their lineup, not really planning to bust out anything too controversial or too unusual. As well as that, we are not seeing any kind of aggression from a Viking army. It is a very kind of withdrawn gameplay, and to say the least, against Skyfire, maybe one would have loved to see a bit more of an aggressive play, but it is what it is. I'm liking the idea of using the Aruni gate over on the kitchen hatch to just drain a little bit more utility. I would imagine similar thing goes, no, not on the motor hatch, so nothing in motor will be seen. And enough, maybe Chloe actually is acknowledging that there maybe is some C4 play, but she's completely unaware that Weird One is already tracking her, giving out full position. Serenity has been already spotted. Swings might be coming around, but nobody's actually playing off that information. M has the nice rotation hold, but it is quite unconventional, seeing as that can be cut off from there. C4 flies out, no damage whatsoever. Cats is able to very cleanly evade that. Another C4 flies in, only tickles Cats really, and another position to be brought out. Triceratops is now the sole user and the sole haver of, well, the C4. Another swing. Serenity is the one to win it out. Goes in for the swing for another one. There is an Aruni of going walkabouts trying to get into the gunfight. Actually manages to tag up Serenity quite substantially, but to no avail just yet. No ability to find any solid ground. Serenity now just waiting for Cats to get in position and maybe Chloe to reinforce the spot, but right now even more damage dished out. Gone walkabouts holding her position very nicely and very truly for herself, doing absolutely stunning work there. Forced essentially Serenity to play a little bit more passively until she's actually being spotted, but the plant is, funnily enough, already starting to go down. People already got the position all set up and ready. The rotations are starting to come through. More shots coming around, and look, Chloe making it a flawless round with a flank through blue. Absolutely able to shut things down. And a swing, and that's a dub. 3-0 is the scoreline for us so far. Very clean site rotation. We are going to be returning ourselves back to CCTV and Cash Room. And now, with Clubhouse, it definitely feels like it's a bit of a misplay from VA. That is, if they did put in the time into preparing against Skyfire, knowing full well that, well, Skyfire are actually quite proficient on this map, on maps like Clubhouse, like Oregon. Those are, which are the staples of staple maps of quite a fair few teams in WL.
Attackers need to locate and
Would have
defuse
probably had a
bombs.
little bit more chances of winning out some of these defensive rounds, say on much more unconventional maps, say Consulate, say Chalet, say even Villa. Maps that do allow you a little bit more of the movement ground, and something that probably is needed here for Viking Army to just fully utilize their play, because it definitely feels like they are playing off a bare minimum kind of ground, and it's not really allowing them to play their own game, or rather play what seems to be an enjoyable game for them. The introduction of Frost here
5 seconds
should
left before insertion.
possibly open a few chances for maybe catching off some early and kind of unchecked aggression, which is a good read, especially against somebody like Serenity, who so far quite aggressively pushed up previously. But we'll have to see what is going to be the turnout here. Once again, very similar setup. Peepo straight away gonna get onto the breach. Nobody is yet to contest, but M on the possible run out could actually catch a few of the gamers off guard here, but that doesn't look like it is going to be the case. For the time being already, L is getting to, well, possibly holding out the angle from a garage, but nice dodge by people onto C4. Does allow Serenity to get the breach going, and a few peaks actually might come out. Kova is trying to land a few shots, but can't really make it work. Frost's SMG just about to be soon nerfed and would possibly lose the 1.5 times scope. Might be seeing a few final days before Frost will be kind of sent back to the kind of the sub-bench jail. Another swing from Serenity. Does she spot the Frost match? She does not. She does spot, though, the head of Kovai's. Very nice, clean play, and does spot the Frost match, so very well sorted out. Ellie this time is watching the flank, and, well, overall, it is looking very, very solid so far. Nothing too particularly exciting. Very kind of standard day for Skyfire, but gone right now. Actually, on the flank, could possibly catch one off guard. Does go in for the gunfight. Serenity, meanwhile, does get a triple kill. That's an injure on the side of Gone Walkabouts, and right now, oh, Serenity does get shot down. Gone Walkabouts and the Weird One. The last two bastions here for Viking Army. 2v2, probably one of the closer rounds this time we are seeing from the two teams. Viking Army able to drain a little bit more time. 40 seconds remaining. Cats and people need to rendezvous together if they do want to come out successful on this one. But right now, the possible swing may be posing a bit of a threat, a bit of an issue. Weird One, knowing full well where the push is going to be coming from exactly. Another swing might be coming around, but Gone actually does land her shot. Weird One trying to get into the play, but right now Gone Walkabouts actually gets shut down. It's all down to Cats. 15 seconds remaining, but she is cold and calculated. Cats finds the 4th point for Skyfire, completely denying one of the closer rounds for Viking Army here. Very unfortunate turnout for Viking Army. 4-0 is the current scoreline. And it is definitely a difficult time for them to get things underway. CCTV in Cash Room is gonna be coming at us one more time. It's an attempt by VA to maybe now try to fix up certain things, and, well, we are going to be seeing some changes in the lineup. The introduction of Legion and Alibi for the top floor. Hold is looking at spicing up certain things to maybe setting up a few more kind of positions to, at the very least, surprise the attackers and maybe force them to fire at that to give away a little bit more information than the usual. Apart from that, look, Triceratops to be bringing in the mute yet again. Going to be trying to deny the breaches, or rather slow things down a little bit more in the information gathering, because the information game so far has been what the team of Skyfire been able to acquire in quite an abundance.
5 seconds to go.
So that said, we shall see if this round is going to be any different. Widwan, oddly enough, well, looked into possibly playing down below, but instead no, we shall be seeing both kite charges up above, the Jaeger charge to be deployed on the rafters, only a single one yet again, which is looking to be quite unusual to say the very least, but this is still, regardless of that, this is a good adaptation here by VA to try to deny some early openings and to prevent essentially being flanked from the garage walls. M is there also to reinforce the position, to allow certain peaks, certain swings, and looking into possibly shooting at the ankles of people. People actually gets extra spicy about her positioning and actually decides to open up both sides of the wall, which is looking to be quite a possibility. That's one side of the wall now opened up, and well, decides to really not care about the other one, which might pose a threat later on, seeing as it doesn't provide as wide of an angle onto the rafters window. Now yet another push coming through to us, Cats, to now rendezvous with Ellie. This time a slightly different approach now that they've acknowledged that, well, there's not a whole lot of ways to really push out the Jaeger easily, with the Kaya, Electroclaws, and M being kind of there as well. Possibly if they've drawn it out properly, they've elected to actually go in for the push from the west side, and actually quite a decent idea, albeit it does possibly pose a threat of pushing through a single spot, but for people in Serenity, this doesn't look like the issue. Weird one now elected back to the spectator screen, as we are seeing a continuation of just the sheer abundance of the pushes. Flash grenades, frag grenades coming in to ensure that the breaches are going to be done very easily. Kova is trying to do something, but right now, fully flashed, this is not looking too good. Breaches happened, the angles are opened, and this is just an absolutely unfortunate setup here, really. Serenity currently on her double kill. Plentiful amount of damage been done. Fantastic swing by Corvise though, as well as M providing some crossfire. Another one comes around, but MX4 cannot outgun the AK. It's all down to M and Chloe. Just absolutely clinical wrap up here in round number 5 to make it yet another one for Skyfire, looking to possibly make this a very clean win for SKFs to date. One round before we wrap up the first half. CCTV is going to be... No, wait, pardon me. Not going to be picked this time, rather. It is going to be Bar and Stockroom, the side that is usually considered a bit more of a memey one. VA looking to do something different about it. Bringing in the Castle, bringing in the Capcan and Alibi. Capcan obviously a 6-pick onto for an Echo. Now, that is a peculiar one, seeing as both Ego and Maestro have been brought on board, and both those operators do specialize quite well in that info gathering / even plan denial game. So curious how those operators are going to be executed, pardon me. It is still very cold in Auckland, so we are a little bit having a few issues. What is happening for Ellie? Oh, right, she's surprised about the site. That's fine. Hatches are being opened up. Funnily enough, no hatch in Gym has been opened up yet, so I'm assuming that is going to be redeemed relatively soon, but a few interesting setups are being brought on board, with one to possibly hold with the Maestro camera while sitting in bar, maybe, but look, yeah. It is definitely looking quite unconventional, to say the very least. M poising to set herself up in a very curious position, to say the very least. The single impact grenade will pretty much expose her position with not really much of a way to kind of go about it and clear it out, but look, doesn't look like it's planning to bother Serenity. Already frags out poor M on just unfortunate timing. And right now already an early advantage in the player count, and the rest of the team is yet to be found close by to the side. Some rotations up above are coming around, and Weird One might actually find the shot. She does. Phenomenal swing, phenomenal frag, and something that the Zofia player of Skyfire did not really expect. Now, the rest of Skyfire roster is looking a little bit stumped. That's probably the right word to use here, seeing as well things have definitely slowed down. It seems like it's a mass exodus here, actually, from the west side push, or rather Peepo and Ellie are the only ones to try to make a play. Funnily enough, going walkabouts, making yet another play, making it a 3v4, taking out Peepo as well here. It's all not looking too pretty. Another gunfight does erupt, and that's a second one for Gorn before she is taken down. All of a sudden, Chloe is the last player standing. That was able to find herself a double kill of her own, but right now with Corvise and Triceratops still very up close and personal, ready to blast things off. Another gunfight does erupt, but no! Chloe wins out her own one, but is not ready for Corvise to swing. A 6-1 is the conclusion, or rather, pardon me, 5-1 is the conclusion of the first half. Still, VA at the very least were able to break that round bleed off a very unusual, unconventional position. Round 7 is upon us straight away. Chloe bringing in the... Wait. Alright, we're just getting confused over the numbers. Okay. Look, yeah, Chunka introduction to the CCTV hold is something that is very well unusual to the current meta overall, but carries a phenomenal amount of potential really for utility, for plan denial, for the push denial, and look, overall he's a phenomenal operator already. Plan to be buffed even further, funnily enough, once we get to the next mid-season patch, which panning out to be very curious to say at the very least, because both DP25, the Shumicha launcher, are also getting buffed, and oh, yeah, look, it is going to be a scary time, really,
5 seconds to go.
for all of the gamers. We do have the updates on the scores. The matchup of Quacked versus Radical Rebels has concluded on Clubhouse as well, funnily enough, with a 7-0 scoreline. So Quacked will be, once again, figuring out themselves a very nice, quick frag. And it seems like Skyfire are potentially looking to maybe at least try to kind of at least partially match the pace. Already, we do see Corvise, funnily enough, get the mid jammers done, but funnily enough, they actually land directly on the wall that was actually predicted by Serenity, and we'll need to clear out the Runegate, which gets sorted out pretty quickly. Very nice early breach, though, gotta say. A very solid decision making here. Well done, but oddly enough, not much has been played off that very breach. There was not much of the coordination. The breach was done by going walkabouts, and Serenity did suffer some damage from what I'm assuming is frag grenade, but apart from that, this is still kind of just looking like
Bomb located by
a very, well, not standardized play, but a bit of a withdrawn one from Viking Army. It definitely also does show that playing with a sub is definitely seeming to be causing a few problems for themselves, maybe just mainly coordination and whatnot, but yeah, unfortunately, there's another reactivation of the Surya Gate, and for Serenity, this is just quick and easy farm of the points as well. Because right now, you look at Corvise, she's still theoretically back at the site. Emma's droning out. Gon is only now just about to make a drop into the logistics office. Triceratops is on the breach. Weird One still droning. So all of this, whilst only a minute remaining, it is not looking pretty at all. Another swing to come around. Ellie already has her position sorted out and ready and keen to get things underway. And Serenity also all prepped and keen for a swing. Another time, third time in a row, the Syria gate does go up, and this time not a whole lot of utility remaining. I believe Kovai's ran out of all of her lances, so right now it's you need to sacrifice the drone, which is not particularly ideal, with still not a single frag achieved. 30 seconds remaining. It is panning out to be an absolute bloodbath once the push happens, because right now VA are running out of options. Triceratops, Kovais are stuck behind. Cats goes in for the swing, and swish, away goes Weird One. Another swing, and actually picks up a frag of her own. People looking to maybe trying to do some plays for herself, but instead frags out like mad. And it's all down to go on walkabouts to try to make a play for her. This is not looking too pretty. Just teabags it out, maybe tries to go for a few exit frags, but instead just forfeits her life at the end. Round 7 to score the match point for Team Skyfire. Definitely gotta commend Skyfire here on the way how they've just held. They played it out really well, managed to keep themselves very nice and safe, and from there on, well, the rest is history. Bar and stock is being offered to Skyfire to go on to, but they are not particularly keen to do that. They just want to wrap things up as quickly as possible and kind of, well, go have a quick break. I do know a few of the players did need to go on a toilet break, and they didn't really time themselves, so maybe it's a quick speed run for some of them, but we won't be pointing any fingers at anyone. If you know, you know, kind of thing. Church. Once again, not much of a change. Serenity back on her play with the P10 Roni on a Rooney. The operator that has managed to make herself very efficient, very good at holding out certain positions to be able to deny quite some utility. And one of the IMO, still one of the more balanced operators to date that has been introduced, even with the fact that her passive ability that is being able to punch massive holes in the floor without using up her ammo is maybe a little bit busted, but comparative to some of the other stuff, I definitely think that she is she's one of the more well thought out operators, let's just say that, in regards to her utility. Apart from that, look, action phase is upon us, possibly the final round, but look, the introduction of the Monty could actually throw off a few of the ideas from Team Skyfire and could possibly score a Viking army yet another frag. But for now, yeah, look, I'm curious though about how will Weird One play out her Finker pick here, because we have a dual roam, and Serenity looks at possibly setting up a few positions to... Oh, this could be naughty. This could be naughty. I'm not too sure if she's actually acknowledging. No, she is completely unaware of the vertical position, and Cats could actually possibly find a very curious swing here. Funnily enough, the hatch has been opened up. Kova is already tagged up a little bit, and the first Finker boost actually came out. To no avail, won't be finding any kind of frags, and instead maybe a few swings onto the main stairs, but even then, look, it's definitely a little bit of a slower push. C4 being prepped, the callouts are there to where to pre-fire, but won't be finding the frag. Instead, does a huge amount of damage. Dealt to both M and Gone walkabouts. Won't be actually securing the frag. It will be scaring them off. Surely Triceratops sees the toes, but no. Instead, it's a beeline straight through the dirt tunnel with Corvise leading the push. Quick swing, Chloe to detonate the gas, and oh, cannot run away from there at all. We do have another update for ourselves. Silex Angels just fell 7-0 to Fallen Angels on Oregon as well, so Fallen Angels will be scoring themselves yet another very nice clean dub. Waiting for Team Sky to possibly do the same thing, because right now things are not looking too pretty. Corvus does get a revive, but about to get possibly doinked. The health disadvantage is quite severe. Cats is just absolutely popping up with a 416. That's a double for her. Can she find a triple? Not yet. So ready to pick up her own. That's a triple for Cats. Just continuously lining up more and more frags, and it is not looking good. All down to the poor gone walkabouts on the Monty. Serenity tried to maybe claim the final frag. Oh, rather walks into the Claymore, and that's a oopsie there for Serenity. 15 seconds remaining. It's about to be run out on time, but Cats decides to claim herself that quad kill. Very nice, very clean. Well done. GG. Well played. First matchup has wrapped up. A very nice, clean game from Skyfire, apart from that one round on Bar and Stock that seemed to have left them a little bit stumped there, but overall, still well played. Unfortunate turnout for VA, but look, they still managed to have some fun with the way how they've played, and yeah, as Gon said, VA